So I kept wondering, why does some people's Claude code make these beautiful, inspiring websites and mine just creates generic AI slop websites? I've been thinking about this for a while, and last week I did a comparison video of the Claude Code's new Fable model versus Opus, and I found that there wasn't that much of a difference between them. Fable had a little bit better design than Opus did. But then I was watching other people's video and I was wondering, was my take wrong? Maybe other people's video wasn't as honest as we thought because they weren't making comparison videos. They were making example videos of what Fable could create. But what if that just was the plugins or the extra stuff around their Claude code? So that's what we're going to try figuring out today. We're going to use the Opus model since we don't have access to Fable anymore if you're not in America. So today I'm going to use Opus to create the same exact website, one with just vanilla Claude code and the other with all the extra plugins and fluff all around, and I'll show you the comparison and I'll tell you what I'm using. So let's get started. I made two products now, and the first one is with this sushi shop. It is a real sushi place here in Gothenburg that I really liked, and they don't have a website. So here I decided to give the AI the image of the storefront and then the menu and tell it, here you have two images of a business, please make a website and take inspiration from what they have. So the first result the Claude Code gave us is this. This is with no plugins or nothing. It's vanilla Claude Code, and it gives us this landing page. It looks very AI, not the nicest, but it does have the colors and the menu with all the small icons. Yeah. Is it the best? No. Does it look AI? Yes, it does. So yeah, here you have the whole website. Going on to when we use our plugins, this is the landing page. There's a little bit more mood here. I would say that there's more design into it. The menu looks very nice. It doesn't look as AI'd. And I think the design here is all around much better. However, you still need a designer to do the job of the design. But there's another height here than in the other example. And if you go into mobile view on both of them, I think this looks nicer. Yeah, there's some misses more on like the normal one without the design stuff. There's no padding down here on the button. When you're not in phone view, it's the same there with the image. It doesn't have the same feel to it. This actually feels a bit more professional than the other one. Maybe not my style, but it's better. And then I also made a mock-up design. So I asked ChatGPT for a prompt to give to Claude Code, both vanilla and with the plugins, again, with some more extensive information about what I wanted. I'm telling it to build a polished, responsive restaurant website for a fictional Nordic restaurant called Emmersfjord in Gothenburg. Use React TypeScript 52 and CSS. Includes sticky navigation, large hero section, restaurant story, menu with prices in sec, image, gallery, craft section, reservation form, contact details, and opening hours, and mobile view. The design should feel premium, warm, atmospheric, and Scandinavian, inspired by charcoal, cream, copper, and deep forest colors. Avoid generic SAS layouts, excessive cards, gradients, overly rounded components, and use strong typography, editorial layouts, subtle animations, and reusable components. Make it look excellent on mobile and desktop. Build a review of the finished website rather than only explaining it. First, here we have the design of the vanilla one. It's much more elegant. Like, it does really look nice. And it looks... I wouldn't think that there is anything wrong with this. Clean, minimal design, really nice reservation thing. If I had a higher end client, I feel like I could show this today to them and be like, hey, do you guys want to pay for this? This one, and this one, not so much. But this right here, it looks really good. So if we go on to the one with a plugin, we have this one. I feel like it looks a bit more elegant. However, I'm quite tired of black backgrounds, but that's okay. I think that this has a little bit more elevated look, maybe more generic as well. I kind of like this better than this reservation, but this is more something that you would typically find. And on this one, I actually think that they did a better job on the Find Us thingy, in my opinion, looking at the design. The plugins that we use today were front-end design by Anthropic, which influences the visual hierarchy. Playwright, which lets Claude inspect and improve the actual rendered page. Microsoft releases under the Apache license, so that's good. Then we have Syntax X, which helps it use the current React Tailwind documentation that is up to date and current. What you could add as well that I didn't today are component libraries. I've seen people use Magic UI and motion primitives. So by using that, you could add more visual identity to your web pages, which I would recommend going check out. Just focusing on the plugins versus each other. I think that today we can conclude that plugins doesn't matter that much. It's more about the prompt you give it. I found that when asking Claude to make me a prompt to prompt Claude code, which I usually do, it creates more generic prompt instructions for Claude code, and I feel like the design usually becomes more generic. I've found that ChatGPT gives you a better full prompt that gives you a better output in the end. So I would talk to ChatGPT about what you want to make and make it create a prompt so you can give that to your Claude code instead and build from that. And were plugins as good as I expected? No, they actually weren't. More about the prompt than the plugins you use. You can quite easily get to the same output, but I do think that using these plugins help you to make better designs quicker and can save you some time. So I would check them out if I were you. If you have any other plugins I didn't use today, then please write down below and let me know and let others know what you like and don't like so we can learn from each other. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!